guys, my name is Unica and today we're going to be making lemon macaroons with a lemon buttercream in the middle. And so you want to start with 2 egg whites right over here. And we're just going to put these in our mixing bowl. And you want to use your whisk attachment that comes with your mixer. I'm just going to set this up. Alright, and secure this in place. And so we're going to start this at about speed 5, just so it starts whisking our egg whites, because that's going to take the longest. And so over here, we're going to sift our dry ingredients. I have 1 cup of confectioner sugar that I'm going to sift. And you want to make sure you have a spatula next to you, because this is going to be important later. Alright, and then I'm going to also add my 3/4 of a cup of almond flour with this. So we're just going to sift this together. Make sure we don't have any big chunks, so we fold this into our egg whites later. And you want to keep in mind not to put your egg whites on such a high speed earlier on, because you can, before you add your sugar in, can over whip your egg whites, and that's not a good thing. You don't want to have your macaroons any grainy texture or anything like that, because that's not very pleasant to eat. And you want to make sure that you have a nice stiff whipped egg white, so the air in your macaroons are all there, so they're nice and beautiful and tall. So what I'm just doing right over here with my sifting is to just press down a little bit, get some of the big chunks through. And don't worry if you have anything left over at the very end of your sifting. As long as it's not over about 2 tablespoons, you're completely fine. And for some people, you usually just sift it over a bowl. I prefer sifting over parchment paper. It's easier to transport to the bowl, and you don't have any spillage over the sides. In case you miss, you handle it a little wrong. So now we're down to little itty bitty pieces here in our sifter. So I'm going to go ahead and give these a rough shake. Take a little excess from over here into our bowl. Alright, and now we're going to check on our egg whites. And as you can see in the bowl, we have our egg whites at an opaque stage. And that means that you don't see any liquid, you just see bubbles and white. And as you can see in the bowl, we have our egg whites at an opaque stage. And that means that you don't see any liquid, you just see bubbles and whites right over here. And at this stage, you want to add about half of your sugar. And we're going to let that go for a few seconds. And then we're going to crank it to about 7 or 8, just so it has more speed and strength, so the air bubbles will start now building faster. So while that's going, we can come back right over here and you can pre-zest your lemon. I have a zest of half a lemon to just lift the sides right over and on the front. And you're going to be able to just dump all your dry ingredients into the egg whites, and that is how we're going to be folding on later. So we're just going to go back right over here to check on these. And they seem pretty cool at a time. And slowly, if you keep watching your egg whites, you can see them slowly come together and become stiffer and more glossy as you add more sugar. They are starting to form stiff peaks, and so at this point you want to add your vanilla extract that I have right over here, and a little bit of gel food coloring if that's what you want. I'm using yellow today for lemon, obviously. And you can control how colorful your macaroons are by how much gel you put in. I put about 2 little scoops or little chunks in there because I like mine really, really yellow, like in your face, bright yellow. And so we're just gonna take a little scoop here and plop it in. I'm gonna do that twice. And you can always adjust it to be brighter than what is already in the bowl. You just don't want to add too much in the beginning because once you add it, you can't come back from it. I'm just going to move all of my dry ingredients over here to the side to make room for my bowl. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and turn this off. Alright, there you go. And so what you really are looking for is when you take your whisk attachment and you come straight up, it does that right there. You don't want to make it too stiff because then your macaroons will be too fluffy and they won't be the right consistency. I'm just banging my wire whisk on the side just so I can get everything I can off of here because everything is important. And so we're just going to take our dry ingredients right over here. Alright. And the trick to folding all this in, from what I learned from Martha Stewart, is to fold it exactly 37 times around and straight down the middle. So we're going to take Martha's advice, because why would you take Martha's advice? She's America's housekeeper and first ever convicted felon. So we're just going to go and start folding this in. Make sure you count because you don't want to over mix it or under mix it. We're going to put it in a piping bag that I have right here. And you can put a tip in here if you like, any round tip, any size, depending on what you're trying to make. I obviously today don't have a tip with me, so I just sectioned off my little bottom right here and folded it up. So that's where I'm going to be cutting it. And so you want to take your pastry bag and just cuff it around your hand like this for easy control. And we're going to go in here. I'm just going to scoop it right in here. I like having the cuff over my hand so I can actually grip the spatula while it's in the bag and scrape everything off. You can do this with any other citrus fruits like oranges, grapefruit, blood oranges, any other fruits. I would recommend probably trying to find it freeze dried and making it into a powder and using it like you would cocoa powder to make chocolate macaroons. And so here's our little pastry bag. I'm just going to go ahead and snip the top right here. And what I like to do is I like to twist it so that it fits completely in my hand and I have control over how much pressure I have. And right here we have a baking sheet with parchment on it, and we're just going to go ahead and pipe out a few circles. I like to mentally count out to 3 just so they're all, around the same consistent size. So we're just going to go straight down, 1, 2, 3, and twist off. 1, 2, 3, twist. Macaroons have been drying for about 30 minutes or so. They've all formed the skin. And if you tap it just like this, it's still soft underneath, but it's a hard shell. So these are perfect for going in the oven. So we're going to put these in the oven for a total about 10 to 12 minutes. And halfway through your baking, you want to rotate them. Alright, we're going to go in. And your oven should be set at 325. Alright. And right here, we have a few that we have already baked off, and they look gorgeous and perfect. And you've successfully done a good macaroon when you can lift it right off the paper and you see those beautiful feet at the very bottom. That tells you that you let them sit out long enough and that the steam has only escaped from the bottom. So that's a very good sign. So now we're just going to match a few of these up. And we're going to go ahead and pipe our buttercream on the inside. And so for our buttercream, we have 1/4 of a cup of butter, a 3/4 and 2 tablespoons of confectioner sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla, and I have added extra lemon extract to it so you get a nice lemony punch. And so you just want to start with one side of the macaroon, go straight in the middle, and just go right around the whole cookie. Alright, and just going to take the other one right on top, gently squeeze it, and then there is your perfect little macaroon that we have here. And they do vary in size depending on what you're going to use them for. If you're going to do any decorations on top, you do want to make them slightly bigger just so you don't run off the edge and it looks kind of messy. And so these are going to be perfect for any tea party, hosting event, anything that you have in your house during the spring, because lemons are so fresh and they're such a bright flavor. And so you can check out this recipe on my blog at Bold, Bright, and Baked. And I've used this recipe to make emoji macaroons, and I've also listed a royal icing recipe on that as well. Thanks for watching, guys.